This is our improved weather oracle solution, and this time it's triggered using post requests, where we provide lat and long, so coordinates of the place where we want to check the temperature. And when we send the post request, after a while we get a response saying whether the task was successful. It was successful. And now if we refresh the Autotask dashboard, we'll be able to see a new Autotask that loads weather data from OpenWeather API and saves it to our smart contract. As you can see, the task has finished and the data was updated in the smart contract, which is also modified. So let's check what's going on out there. This is our updated weather smart contract. As you can see, we introduced a new structure, and this is weather data struct that we use for our mapping, because we decided that it will be better for this smart contract to store a mapping, so like a list of all of the previous entries, to have a history that we can browse. Now we use a counter for that to go through the mapping, and also what we do is we have update weather data function, which puts a new object to the mapping. We have get latest weather because this is the most popular use case, I think, will be to get the latest weather. So we have a case for that. And we also have get weather, where we provide index. So say we have 10 entries in our mapping, but we want to search, for example, an entry with an index of 5 or 4, or even the first one. Like before, but a little bit adjusted, we have a function which returns a nice formatted temperature, so in Celsius, it's much easier for users to read. Down below, we have access modifiers and all of the related functions. They haven't changed, so they stayed the same. And that's it in our smart contract. So the major difference is storing the list of entries instead of one entry. So knowing that, let's move to our Autotask script. This is our Autotask script. So first let's check how we made it so that it's triggered by a post request, and how it handles the query parameters that we pass, so lat and long. And you can see that the script starts here. And what we did here is we took the body, headers, and query parameters from credentials request. And then we have all of the boilerplate we almost always have here, so the provider and signer. But down below, you can see that the query parameters store the lat and long that we provided using Postman. Also, down below, we need to provide our API key, and we are still using the same API, so it's current weather data from OpenWeather map. So you need to create your own API key and provide it to the script and paste it here. And then what we do is we take the temperature data. So let's see the getWeatherData function. And it's rather simple. It just sends the request to the API and returns the rounded temperature. I don't think that we changed anything here. And then we create a new struct with all the information we need in our smart contract. So this struct is one-to-one with the one we have here. So we have temperature decimals, latitude and longitude. So it's here, and we return this struct. We pass it to the main function. Also, if the temperature is null, we just return the function here, and we cancel it. But you could add a bit better error handling here. We haven't spent much time to make sure that it always works properly, because it's just a playground application. So let's move to the main function. And here we finish the job. So we connect to the smart contract and use the update weather data function, which takes the struct and puts it to the mapping. And that's about it in this script. So let's finish it by deploying the smart contract and passing the data here. So we take the weather contract and deploy it on Gerly. We also need address relayer, so we need to go to the relayer tab, copy the address. The contract is deployed, so we can copy the address and also the API. And as usual, we'll leave all of the links in the description to the source code. And I need to convert the API to a one-liner so that it's easier to read. And then I can paste it here. So now the last thing is the API key, and we are ready to save the changes. So now everything is plugged in, and what we want to do is go to the settings of the Autotask and make sure that we use the webhook option. And down below you can see that we have the URI that we can copy and use this URI to send a post request using Postman, curl, or whatever you like. I'll be using Postman, so I'll open the client and I'll create a new request here, select post, and paste the URL I just copied. Now what we need to do is to provide latitude and longitude, and find a country, and let's find any city like Warsaw that long. It's about 52 and 21. And now we are ready to send the post request. The status is success, so we can go to Defender and refresh our Autotask to make sure that the one we started has completed. And indeed it's complete, and you can see the result. So the extract that hopefully was forwarded to the smart contract with the temperature of about 12.5 degrees because of the decimals, and with the latitude and longitude I just provided. So let's go to the smart contract and check whether the data was updated. In the smart contract, let's see what got stored in our mapping. So for this, I'll use getLatest around the temperature function, and it returns 12. So it's about 12 Celsius. And if I click here, I'll get all the information. So with temperature, decimals, lat, and long, it returned just what was provided by the OpenWeather API, so it's all good. But now let's say that I want to check the temperature at a given index. So let's check 0, and 0 should return the latest temperature. And when I click 1, it will return zeros because we don't have any more records here. So to have a new record, I'll open Postman and I'll modify the request. So let's say I put -21 this time. After several seconds, the data should be ready. So let's check the get weather at 1. And indeed, we see a new record, and we should see a new data here as well. And yeah, it returned the new data, so it's all good. The temperature haven't changed, and for this we would need to create a new record. So let's check, for example, South Pole lat long. So it's 90 and 45. So let's put something like -90 and -45. And this time, after several seconds, when you go back to the smart contract, the data should be much different. After a few seconds more, you can see that it's -37 Celsius, so completely different temperature, and it's clearly working. And even if we check the index 2, it should return the third record, and it's exactly this one. So it's all good in our Weather Oracle smart contract, but say we want to create a client for this, so application side smart contract, and we call this manager again, And of course, we connected it to the Oracle. So we just copy the weather contract address and paste it here. And here you can see a few functions that regular users they could call. And we changed it a bit. So this time you can see that the format temperature is a new function to make it look a bit clearer. And it returns a prettified string of the temperature. So freezing, cold, moderate, whatever. And we use it in the check temperature function, which gets the latest rounded temperature and converts it to the prettified text. We also have some simple functions that use the structure from the Oracle contract and return it altogether. And we also have the last function in which we can do the same thing, but with the provided index. So like before, index 0, 1, 2, and so on. So let's deploy the smart contract. And now we can check the functions. So for example, the current data as a struct, same data using the index, and also the function which prints the string. It was very cold. It was like minus 37 Celsius or something. So of course it's freezing. And that's it in our rather simple Matter contract. Of course, you could add more things on top of it. And you could also add more functionality to the weather smart contract. You could add some mappings that map the data based on lat long, so that you can store mappings for different locations, different coordinates. After this video, you're equipped with a few more useful tools, like triggering autotasks using post requests, and also storing the information in mappings, as well as accessing whatever record you want using index or just using the get latest functions. So feel free to build on top of that and add more interesting features, or just completely build a different application, because those solutions, those autotasks and post-triggered autotasks can be used in many other functionalities. So thanks for watching. If you liked this video, like and subscribe, and see you next time.